Regional this weekend, but I want to go back to last weekend. And when you came here, did you, in your wildest imagination, think that you would be back-to-back Pac-12 champions at the end of your junior year?
No, I did not. When my mom first recommended Oregon, it was, back when I was a sophomore or junior in high school, and back then Coach White had just come to the university, and no one really knew about Oregon softball. So at the time, I was just like, okay, I'll look at them. But after what Coach White and the original new coaching staff has done here, it's been phenomenal. What he's done in the past 5 years, it's such a short amount of time. So no one could have ever foreseen it, but it's a blessing to be here.
What is it like being part of that? I mean, is setting that legacy and setting the tone for the future. You take some ownership in that, and is something a source of pride for you?
Yeah, it's amazing being a part of it, especially because we feel like each year we're learning something. Even though my freshman year we already went to the World Series, it was different coming back my sophomore year and being that team that went to the World Series and being not the underdog anymore and learning. So each year, even though we've had so much success since I've been here, we're still learning huge things that we're going to pass on to the future of Oregon softball.
You're really, really not the underdog now based on the national rankings. How do you feel like you guys have handled that, and what mentality do you take forward?
It helps that we've been number one for a few weeks now, but I mean, when we saw that we were the number one seed, it was probably one of the best feelings that I've ever had in my softball career. But it's kind of like enjoy it in the moment. We enjoyed it that night, but the next day it's back to business and it's just softball. So, I mean, we still have everybody has their things that they're working on right now, so it's just practicing and playing the game.
Janie, you talk about growing every year. When you look back on last year and the disappointment, how much do you think about that, and what did you take away?
It's been one of those moments in softball that stayed with me the most, I think. It was such a high winning Super Regionals my freshman year, and last year it was very heartbreaking, to say the least. I mean, I think about it often because that feeling still hasn't gone away, and we definitely don't want to feel that again. But at the same time, I don't think we will, because of the mental preparation that we've done, especially this year, just trying to improve on our approach and the process that we stick to.
Another thing that's different about this year's team, Coach was saying, is the depth. Talk about the depth of this year's team and how that's different from last year.
Well, we have, multiple players that can play multiple positions, and when someone isn't doing it, there's definitely someone that is paying attention on the bench and that's had 18 at-bats already just watching everybody else and who's ready to come in that position. And we have people that are dying to get on the field, and that's what you want out of your players that are on the field and the players that are on the field, is that everybody wants to be a part of what we're doing in this season. So.
What have you, the people who have been here before, you don't have many freshmen in, you guys all have the experience. What are you telling Nikki and the other freshmen?
We've definitely talked about, the comparison of the feeling that we had when we went to the World Series my freshman year and then the feeling that we had last year. So they definitely know, that we don't want to feel the same way we felt at the end of last year. So we kind of prepared them, but, nothing compares to actually being there. But, I mean, all you can do is talk to them and tell them to just stick to the process, stick to your game, because, it's gonna turn out how we want to if we just play our game.
You mentioned World Series first year, then getting knocked out last year. How much of that can you actually? How much of that do you actually carry every day? I mean, I guess my question really is, that's a motivator, I understand, but at some point in time, you also have to set it aside.
Exactly.
And is that easy to do?
It is. It's more of, we recognize what our approach was to that series and realize that, we could have done a lot better in just our mental approach going into that series. A lot of people, our fans, parents, were looking ahead to Oklahoma City, and that's just something that, the road to Oklahoma City starts with Utah Valley. It doesn't start with winning regionals. It starts with our very next game, and so that's what our coaches have really instilled in our mentality, and I think that's helping us to, realize that we could do things differently this year.
Pac-12 play obviously helps prepare you guys for the postseason, but what are some things that the Pac-12 season can't prepare you for in postseason play?
Well, we definitely have elaborate scouting reports on all the Pac-12 teams. So that definitely helps. And we have video of what we did last year against those teams. So, you know, going into this series, we don't really have much on Albany. We, you know, stuff like that. I mean, Wisconsin was in our regional last year. We just played Utah Valley, but that's definitely something different. And also, you know, I don't know the players on those teams. I know the players by name, you know, in the Pac-12, you know everybody. So that's just a little different, but you know, we kind of experience this in the beginning when we play tournaments against teams that we don't normally play. So it's not a huge difference, but definitely different than Pac.
Does it change the game for you not knowing maybe the girl on the other side of the field?
Sometimes it makes it easier. I mean, you know, you're going into a game against Dallas Escovedo, and it's Dallas Escovedo, you know, big name like that. So that sometimes can play a role in your mentality going into a game. So it's all about staying even keel.
Janie, a random question for you. I'm half Japanese, so I got to ask. A lot of people call you Janie Takeda. It's Takeda, right?
I honestly,
Do you not care?
I don't even really know how to say it correctly. I think it's like Takeda or something like that. But honestly, I just say Takeda. I'm whitewashed.